Hello, 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 and welcome to the Most Magical Monday podcast. I am Angel, your host, and this is the podcast where I talk about anything and everything while I do my makeup. And this is episode 10, meaning this is the last episode. Unless I get 10 comments from 10 different people saying we demand a new season, then I might come back. If not, goodbye forever. I know, very dramatic. I'm looking a little, comfy. Ooh. I love this sweater. It's Sherpa sweater, but it's not, real Sherpa. It's like, teddy bear fabric. It's raining outside, so that's why, it's a little cold. So I'm just cozying up inside. I also have some paint on my fingers. Here, can you see? No, I'm too white. Anyways, yes, I've been painting. I've mowed the lawn. I've mowed the lawn. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I am feeling a little melancholic about this being the final episode for now, maybe. And, it's been a journey, and it's been a good one at that. Also, this is my hair today. It's a beautiful creation, held by a little hair tie, and it looks like one of my home country's dishes, like a croissant. So, had to include that. Also, I'm having some nail polish on. This is my favorite nail polish in the world. I love nail polish, and I think it's a wonderful invention because it's an invention. Imagine if everyone was born with the ability to just think. How we manifest, right? Well, imagine if we're just I really want blue nails, and then you open your eyes and your nails are blue. Wouldn't that be cute? I think that would be cute. But who am I to judge? Do you want to know how I thought people like fake blondes were dyeing their hairs when I was little? Do you know how I thought hair dyeing worked when I was little? So, I grew up in Norway, and in Norway, a lot of people are like me. They grow up very blonde, and then later they become less blonde, but they're still blonde. I'm still blonde, but I get some highlights so I can look, even more blonde, whatever. And so it's a very, it's a thing. People spend a lot of money at the hairdressers to have beautiful hair. And I had been, my mom's a brunette. So that's hard for her. Just kidding. But my friend's mom, they were blonde, some of them. And I remember on Saturdays, some Saturdays, I would be with my friends, and we were 6 or something, and we would just hang out at the hairdressers for hours, 5 hours sometime, because they would do the hair and then cut the hair and everything, and we would just be there instead of, I don't know why we didn't have a nanny. We could have, but it didn't. So we were there, and I remember just I thought they were just doing some kind of cream to have more moisturized hair or something, No, they were getting their hair dyed blonde. And, I did not really understand the concept of like dyeing your hair. I thought, now this is the part where it gets a little complicated for my brain. But when I was little, I thought that if you wanted to have hair of another color, you did go to the hairdresser, but the hairdresser would give you pills. The hairdresser would give you pills, like, like vitamin pills, like, like a regular tray, like metallic one, and then like the color that you want. So like if you wanted blonde hair, you would get like yellow pills in those trays. If you wanted brown hair, etc., etc. Yeah, that's not how it works. But I legit thought that for way too long. So yes, that's not how it works. And I don't know why I was so gullible. I mean, I thought a lot of things when I was younger. Until this day, I pride myself in being very creative, because I am a creative person. I charge my batteries by being creative. It's like I need to be creative or I will lose my sparkle or something. And because of that, I thought many things. I already told you the story if you've seen all of my episodes of this podcast. I already told the story about how, since my mom did not know if she would have a boy or a girl, and she did, all of those old wives' tale things to see if it's a boy or a girl before hearing the doctor say anything, and everything pointed to be a boy. And she told me that when I was like 2 years old, and I took it a little too literally, meaning when she told me that, I was like, what? I was born a boy? And then I was like, oh yeah, makes sense. I wanted to be a girl, so I was a girl. But I was born a boy, but then I was like, no, I don't want to be a boy. And in a way, I've been an ally since forever, trans rights. But it's just like, I don't know, yeah. So I took that too literally, and then there's like the story about monkeys. She also told me like, yeah, like many years ago, we were monkeys. And I was like, yeah, I was a monkey once. Same thing. I literally thought I was born a monkey, then a boy, and then I was like, no, I actually want to be a human girl. Yeah. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has had those thoughts. What am I sitting on? Okay. Hello, knee. It's my knee. I was a special child, I guess. My parents, they divorced at some point, and I remember being at my neighbor's. Like my neighbors had a kid, and she was like my age, and we were friends. And I remember us playing, and meanwhile we were playing, the movers went and got, what my mom was going to take. And because my parents did not tell anyone about this, and when they asked, oh, why is there a mover at your house? Like, what's going on? And all I said was, oh, we just have too many furnitures, so we're going to change them. And they were like, oh yeah, I get that. Yeah, that makes sense. Which, by the way, did not make any sense. And my parents think it's a very cute answer that I answered. Like, they think it's a very cute, like, answer to that, which is like, yeah. Anyways, I also did not understand banks, but I think like most kids do not understand banks at all. And another thing like I had issues with was in Norway for our National Day, which is May 17th actually. We are like crazy. And I mean crazy. Like crazy, crazy, crazy. You think 4th of July is crazy and intense? Guess again. No. This May 17th. Every year, Norwegians go out their way to make the most ridiculous day. First of all, everyone, well, most people, are wearing their bunad. What is a bunad? Bunad is a traditional garment. Not garment, but a traditional outfit. There is a male outfit and a woman outfit, and I know they're actually working on like a third gender outfit as well. And those outfits are like really special. Like usually that for women it's like a dress. It's like what is the name again? Like pinnacle, something. You know, like the over pinafore. Maybe. I don't know. So you have like a white shirt first of all, and then it's like closed and very like, and then you have this dress over, which usually goes like this, and it like the color of the dress depends on where in Norway you are from, and then there's like a lot of embroidery, depends, and then there's like the silver kind of like jewelry. We have like a silver brooch here with like small metal plates that when you walk, they do this, they dangle. It's very beautiful. And like a lot of things. There are a million traditions. We have shoes that looks like they're from a long time ago. And so, yeah, like the whole costume is passed down normally. I don't have a normal family, so I don't have one actually. And since I'm from Oslo, I could have the costume from Oslo because there are bunad, what we call bunadpoliti, the bunad police, and they are actually like kind of mean. They're like, oh, if you're not from Hedmark, why are you wearing the bunad from Hedmark? It's so stupid. And you're just there like, but my great grandma is from there, and they're like, oh, okay, never mind then. But yeah, it's kind of like that. And I could have the bunad from Oslo, but I think it's ugly, so I don't have it. And anyways, I'm not in Norway at the moment, so who cares? But by the way, I'm a third generation Oslo person born. I don't know what they're called. So, anyways, and then so women wear that. Men wear some kind of like, they have also the white shirt, and they have a jacket, same, and like the dress and the jacket is, or the dress, the jacket, and the pant shorts that the men wear are in this agglomerated wool. It's like, you know, you wash the wool fibers, and then it becomes like, it's in wool, all of it. And the shirts are also usually in wool or silk, so it gets really warm and everyone complains. Anyways, so the men, they wear that, and they also have like some silver things, I think, and they have, so some kind of shorts that come like right here, and then they have like some white stockings that come under it, I think, or like some white hosiery of some sort. It looks like a wool as well. And then they wear the same type of shoes, black with a buckle. And you're thinking I'm making this up. I'm not. And then they sometimes wear top hats. So that's like the outfit part of it. And if you don't have the national costume, you should be wearing like something like really out there. So like men, if they don't wear bunad, because not a lot of men are wearing bunad, which I find so sad because look so beautiful in bunad. They will usually wear a dress, smoking, yes. In Norwegian, we say dress for a smoking. There's actually a store called Dressman in Scandinavia, and they only sell smokings. So yeah, if you're ever in Norway and you see Dressman, you're like, what is this? Yeah. Yeah, and then like women will usually wear like beautiful dresses, like, yeah, and like beautiful shoes. And what's so crazy about May 17th is that, first of all, everything is closed. No one is working. No one, except for people who has like stores for like 7-Elevens and like stuff like that. And yeah, so you wake up around 6:30 in the morning. You're like, what? You wake up at 6:30. You take a shower, you put on your makeup, and you put on your fancy gown or like your bunad or whatever you're wearing. Makes you ready around 7:30 in the morning. You're thinking, what? Yes, that's right. Then you go into the fridge, you grab the pavlova cake. I'm sorry, I thought there was a spider, but there's not. I'm just... You take the pavlova cake, you take the berries, you take the... What do people eat? Oh, the shrimps out the fridge, like everything. And you're like, okay, but what are you doing with all of this? You take it with you. You bring it with you in like big things. You take the champagne out of the fridge as well. And you're my thinking, what? Where are we going in with all of this? Well, you're bringing it with you to someone else. You go somewhere or you have it at your place. It depends. And you have something called champagne breakfast. And it's literally many people having a champagne breakfast in like their outfits. And don't forget your little flag. We have like flags like this. Go like, ee! And then, you have the champagne breakfast, and at 12 o'clock, I never remember, noon, the king is it 12? Oh no, I'm being a bad Norwegian right now. At some point, the king is having a speech, and then and by the way, meanwhile, while you are eating your breakfast, you have the TV on, because on the TV, all of the kids in schools in Oslo, they walk in a big parade and they go say hello to the king of Oslo, Norway, I'm sorry. And because he is, or the royal family is standing at their balcony, and they're just waving for hours and hours and hours at all of the kids who this is the castle, and then it's like a little bit up height, and this is like the main street actually. And so all the kids with like hours and hours of walking, and while they're walking, they're singing the Norwegian National Day songs. And then they're like walking, singing, and like cheering. They're walking, and here there's usually a tiny bit of like traffic jam if you want, and it's like, ugh, we gotta wait. And then they're like, woo, because at the same time, while the king is like, hello, there's a TV crew, not one, but like multiple TV crews filming all of the kids. so that the entire country can watch it and say, oh, that's little Marcus from, Unipid. She had, yeah, that's her son. Can you see him? Ah, he's so cute. Yeah. And then the kids say, hello, King. And he's like, hi. And then the kids, it's a big tradition that after they return from that, they do like some games. So we have like the potato sack hopping game, where you go into a potato sack or a post office sack, those like burlap sacks, and you go inside of them and you jump, and the one who comes to the finish line first wins. Then we have egg runs, where you have an egg on a spoon, and the one who, you have to do a parkour, and then the one who's there first wins, etc. And like some other games as well. And yeah, and then it's a big thing to eat pølse, which is sausage, like hot dog basically. So a lot of people eat hot dogs on those days, and ice cream, like in ice cream cones, like cornetto kind of ice cream, that you buy already made. So that happens, and then, like there's a lot of, since a lot of adults starts with the champagne breakfast, they're usually very tired at night, and so there's not like a lot happening for them then. But yeah, they just like have fun and walk around and everything. Oh, I forgot a crucial part of this day. The graduates, like the high school graduates, the last year, they have a special tradition during May, because this is May 17th, our national day. During May, they all, like, they are celebrating that they are graduating that year. So they're all wearing some special pants or like a special overall in a specific color. So like red means general education, then we have green for like environment, and like black, and like etc. Like there are tons of colors you can choose from. And then they also have like cards with like things written on it. And I remember my card had like a I think it was a quote from Seinfeld, like something really stupid. And like I had something like kind of innocent when thinking about what other people might have on theirs. But it's very like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. And, it's usually like a fake number and a fake address, like address where your mom lives, and phone number is like, oh, what, you want to call me or something. And those same graduates, they also usually have a party bus together. So they will usually like first year of high school, they would usually like, they would be like, hey, does anyone want to have like a party bus for when we become Russ, which is what it is. And people will be like, oh yeah, I'm in. And then they will, work to have enough money between them to have that bus. And sometimes they also get help by their parents, and then they also buy like, maybe they buy a song specially for their bus. Now I wasn't part of the bus because I was like, whatever. I wasn't, that much of a Rus. But there was a bus at my school, and they have like this whole like very dramatic reveal. They're like, we're not telling you the name of the bus before like this happens, and then this happens, and it has to be, you don't know, you don't understand, they're very like that. And so there was this bus at my school, and so they usually have like a deck name, like a cover name. before it comes out. And they were like, oh yeah, are you a part of the Apollo? Like, we are a part of the Apollo, blah, blah, blah. I feel so bad for them. Because I had a friend, she was part of the Apollo crew. And, first of all, they buy the bus. Which it was a lot. You know, they had to pay, they weren't that many, so they had to pay like a lot per head. And so, yeah, you know, they had to get a hold of that money. But then, there's something called rulling, which means rolling. And it's usually, you know, you hire a driver or you have someone drive while the people are inside and partying, drinking, or whatever. And so they were going to have some rulling, and they hired a driver. And the driver, you know, he was going to start the thing. The bus just stops working. It could work like 30 minutes ago. Now it just won't stop working. And he's like, I'm sorry, there's something's not going well here. And they're like, really? And he's like, yeah, I gotta check like the motor or something. He opens like the pop-up thing. There's smoke coming out of it. And he's like, I think I have to call someone because I think this is catching on. Like, I think this is going to, like, burn. Yeah. So, he calls someone, etc., 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 etc. They get it repaired. By the way, I forgot a very crucial part of this. It's not a regular bus. It's a bus, yes, and it is, in a way, a regular bus. But what I forgot to tell you was that they also spend thousands on remodeling it. Yes. They buy new speakers inside of it. They paint the entire bus with like some cool things like, oh, we're the Albatross girls, or like, you know, they have like the entire bus is like covered with these things. The inside is like all, you know, specially modeled for them and everything. So yeah, and then so they spend a lot of money on that too. And then so they, you know, the bus was repaired and everything. It's all okay, but they had to spend like extra money on that. And then they'd be like, okay. We will just come back and you know, we want to roll the other day. So the next day. And so the next day comes and it's all okay, you know. They roll, they're having fun and people over, because that's the thing. They will bring like other people, or like sometimes like half celebrities. I know some people that are half celebrities that have actually participated in Riddling, which I find like very almost illegal. I'm like, but they are like 18. Not that it's not, I mean, it's not bad to be 18, but it's, you know, a little weird when someone that is like not 18 there. Anyways, so they roll again and everything is fine. And then, because all of this was before May, like they start wearing the garments in like, they start being a Russ in like April or something. That's when they start, you know, like they drink a lot. They also have rules. They have like a list that comes out every year, and they also have like a hat. They have a hat with like a thread on it, and you get to have knots. So there are like specific things that you can do, and the more knots you have, the more wild you are. And like there's like, for example, oh, I'm not gonna drink knot. If you kiss someone that is royal, because we have a royal family. If you kiss Like, if you kiss, I remember, I think it was like if you kiss one of the royal members, you get to dip half of your hat in gold. Like, there were so many weird rules like that. And so, what was, oh yeah, so it was in April. They were like, okay, we're now going to like start rolling for real, and like roll in like the neighborhoods where people are from and everything. They go to pick up that one girl. The one girl comes out. She's like, okay, I'm ready. She gets in, and the bus starts smoking again. And this time, the bus is really caught on fire, and it combusts entirely, and the bus is no longer to be rolled with. Yes. And they could not get any money back because when you're a Rus, you're really not trustworthy. And so yeah, they did not get any money back. And because usually when you have one of those buses, like if you want on the money side, people usually think, oh, but I'm going to sell it to the next year, you know. Well, not that time. So it just burnt down, and then my school did not have a bus at all. So that's the story of that. No, I should not say that, because then you might be like, oh, you went to that school. I don't want people to know where I went. But I went to a private school, and I did meet Prince Charles there. And a lot of, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to say more. That's all. But yeah, I feel bad for those who had the bus, honestly. It's so wild, like, and then, yeah. Oh yeah, so it's called Rus, like Russ. I don't know why it's called that, honestly. But yeah, it's a thing. And then what I wanted to say about them is that on May 17th, they will usually give out those like visit cards that I was talking about to kids, and kids will usually collect them. And I remember collecting them a lot when I was a child. So, you know, it's a big deal. That to say, like, Norwegians are wild when it comes to national days. But that's because we're a new country. If you did not know, our dear beloved neighbors, Denmark, where, by the way, I'm living right now, and Sweden, although we love them, they did not really occupy us, but we were under them. So yeah, we haven't been like a fully working alone country, and like, yeah. So our country is like, well, my country, I don't know how to say this, it's just our country. Where are you going with this? It's like not very old, so there's that, you know. And I think that's why our celebration for our country's National Day is so wild. And if you don't believe me, just search 17 May Oslo and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not making this up. I wish I was. And where I was also going with this is that when I moved to France, for some reason, you know, I wouldn't say I I don't even know if I knew when it was. I was like, oh yeah, July 14th is our national day here. And so I think I remember like, oh, when is May 17th here? And they were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, yeah, when is May 17th? And the people in my class were like, she's so weird. Turns out they don't have him. Or they do have a May 17th, but not like that. Oh, which brings me to something. I would always be excused from the school on May 17th because they say like if you have a celebration, like I don't remember, but I just remember that all the May 17th that I was celebrating in France, I was always out of school celebrating with the local Nordics. I would actually celebrate May 17th with like Swedes and Danes and all of those people. And like also people that were just genuinely interested at like some sort of like local Nordic group. It was so weird. So I would do that. It was something about it just feels very surreal. Honestly, my first ever year in France was so weird. I was 10, 9, 10. Wow, I'm shaking a lot. Okay, relax. My first year there was very hard because I had only gone to private school, and it was a cultural shock for me to not be at a private school. I know, sounds stupid, but it's true. And then also another thing is that I went from like an international school to a fully French school. That was really hard on me because people were treating me so much different. In my old school, in my first ever school, I was like a fish in water because everyone else was just like me, multicultural, and could speak several languages. And then when I moved to France, suddenly I was, the weird one out. And I remember, like, it was hard for me. I was kind of grieving my old life, my parents divorcing and everything. That was so hard on me. And I remember I did not speak, how can I say this? Like, I spoke fluently French, of course, but I hadn't learned the, like, French that some people speak, like, with bad words in it and stuff like that. And I did not understand a word of when people were like, and I would be like, I don't even know what they're saying. Like, okay, relax. So there was that part, which was weird. And then sometimes, because I wasn't well adjusted yet, sometimes I would actually speak to them in Norwegian instead of French. There was a moment, like twice it happened to me, where I just remember they were speaking to me in French and I answered in Norwegian, and I was just I didn't know what to do. I felt embarrassed because I had just answered them in Norwegian, and I was like, why is my brain like that? That can still happen today, by the way, but I'm like, it's less likely. I have a little more control. Not really, but a little more maybe. And so, there was that. Also, I was taller than anyone else. That was also, whatever. So, that happened. And, oh yeah, now I'm coming to the, final bouquet. So, apart from all of those things that I had just talked about, I think I was a weird kid, honestly. I don't know how to describe myself as a kid, but whatever. I had become friends with this girl in my class who turned out to be really mean to me in the future. She was just mean to me. But before that, we were friends. And before that, she was like, I'm sorry. She had a de name. In France, there are people who are sometimes named, for example, their first name is like Diane, and then their last name is like de, and then, I don't know, Champêtre or something. And the de it means off or from, and it is a way sometimes that you can see if someone is noble or not, because there is still, aristocracy, etc. And yeah, so some people think it's snobby to have those names. You don't really get to choose your last names, so I don't know. Yeah. By the way, I have a Baron in my... yeah. But, yes, there are still Barons and everything, but it's not, official and stuff like that. And I do, but it's not, by blood or anything, so it doesn't count. But, so, this girl was like, oh yeah, my name is de blah blah blah. And I was like, okay. And she was like, yeah, blah 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 means that I'm from a really rich family. And I was like, okay. And and she got mad at me because I did not I did not really I did not give her what she wanted. She wanted wow, you're so lucky or something. And then I told her, because I have a very Scandinavian last name, and it's not Satnam actually. And she was like, I was like, yeah, my last name mean that it's off something too. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah. Anyways, this girl. Oh, by the way, she came from the north of France, and she was like, oh, I come from the north. And I was like, yeah, me too. And she was like, no, you're not from the north. And I was like, I'm literally from the north of Europe. What? And she was like, no, you're not from the north. I was like, Norway, it literally says North Way. That's the name of Norway. And she was like, yeah, whatever. This girl, by the way, she threw sugar into my hair multiple times, years later. I don't know what her deal was. And then a few years later, after that again, she came back to me. She came crawling back to me, and she was like, oh, you're so pretty. Can we be friends? Oh, you seem so kind now. Oh my God. Do you remember this and that and this and that? I was like, I'm sure you mean well, but I am not over what you did to me. So, no. By the way, if you're watching this, you know who you are. That was mean. Don't ever do that to anyone. Anyways, what I wanted to say is that she made a huge discovery in my life. Because I was sitting in class with her, like by her side. We were sitting on the floor. And I was like sitting like this, as you might do. And I just remember her like starting to scream. She was like, "Oh my God, you're disgusting." And I was like, what have I done? Well, what's going on? She was like, "You are disgusting." And I was like, well, I truly don't get it. Have I done something? What's going on? She was like, "Yeah, you're disgusting." You want to know why? It's because I have arms that goes like this. And I was like sitting and my arm was going backwards because I have, I'm hyper flexible or whatever. And my arm was going backwards because they do when I like, I can do this. I'm hyper mobile, flexible, whatever. And she was screaming and the teacher was like, "Relax. Some people just are like that." And I had no idea that I was hypermobile. That was new to me. I was 10 years old. No one had ever told me that before. I was dancing ballet prior to this, and my teacher never said anything wrong about my body. There was never anything wrong. But from that day on, I was like, damn, my body's not okay. And then I told my mother, and she was like, "Ugh, don't bother. She's probably jealous." And I was like, how can anyone be jealous of someone with deformed arms? By the way, they're not deformed if you have them. Just a reminder. But yeah, that was the day that I found out that I actually had crazy arms. And that girl, by the way, I'm never going to tell her name or anything. But like her family, it was like a huge... Okay, I'm airing her dirty laundry, which I probably shouldn't, but she has inflicted so much pain on me. Many other things that, like, I will never tell anyone, but I will tell this one thing about her family. So she was, in fact, from a rich family. I had no idea because at that point, I came from a private school. I had absolutely no notion of what money and wealth meant because I was brought into a very, I was used to seeing people with money, So I did not really know what was signs of someone, if someone was poor or, had less money. 10, so, turns out she had money, whatever, and turns out she was noble, whatever, I don't really care. If you're noble today, congrats, you get to call yourself Baron or Duchess or Baroness or whatever. All I want as a title is Princess. Anyways, so, okay, I don't know if this is mean, but I know she'll never see this, hopefully. Maybe she will. But this family was a weird family dynamic. The dad was always talking about something really controversial, and her mom, I just remember her mom getting angry because they had a maid, and I just remember her getting so angry at the maid, telling me for some reason that she was angry at the maid because the maid had thrown out a McDonald's cup that was on the kitchen counter that was filled with frogs. They had filled a McDonald's cup with frogs. And I just remember her telling me like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, what happened later? So this family was like, it was eccentric in a way, and the girl who was like my friend and then not friend anymore, who bullied me, made me cry and all of that. She was obviously like acting out because of how her family life, oh my god, this is so mean of me. I don't know if it is. Anyways, I'll tell you since I'm already on my way. But her dad, out of nowhere, or not like really out of nowhere, but we stopped seeing each other. I moved to Norway, and then I've been living my life free of her ever since. Cool for me. But then my mom met her dad on the street a few years ago, and her dad said, oh, by the way, I am currently divorcing the mother of so-and-so. And my mom was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And he was like, oh, don't be sorry. I just wanted, now that I have had, a real family. They have like 4 kids together. He was like, yeah, now that I've had, a real family, I actually want to go and live with a man. I am bi, so I want to go live with a man. And that, I don't know, that was like the last thing I heard of them. And although, it sounds a little funny, to be honest, I feel so bad for their kids. Because I went through a divorce, or not me, but my parents went through a divorce, and it was really hard on me. I would cry. Anytime anyone brought up something, I was like, and they were like, what's going on? And I was like, anyways, hope she's well, even though she bullied me. I have a new mascara on, and I honestly like it. It's this one. Volume Stylist 18 Hour from Essence. So yeah, that was that. I think that was... Oh, well, no, actually, I still have one story. Well, not one story, but like one last thought before I infinitely close chapter 10. I've been thinking a lot about karma and how, sometimes people will say, oh, well, that's karma for you, When anyone, for example, someone has been mean to someone else, and that someone who was mean to someone else, they lose, I don't know, something like a stamp, or they lose a hairbrush or something. And then someone else looking on the outside will be like, well, that's karma, you shouldn't have been mean to that person. I think it's bad karma to say that's karma. So that's all. Yeah, I think that's all for now for this podcast. I hope you all enjoyed my episodes. There will be I did film a test episode, which is like kind of like the first episode, but only like worse. And I have it. It's uploaded. All I have to do is put it on public on my YouTube channel. So you will get that next week, just as a little heads up, and also as a little, token of this little voyage that has been this podcast. I have absolutely derailed from what my podcast was supposed to be. I thought it would be something a lot more inspirational Was not inspirational. Inspirational and very like, let's talk about crystals, something like that. The thing that happened, I think, is that I was by myself the entire podcast. And so I just happened to talk to myself. And although I am a very spiritual person, I'm also a very silly person. And a very, I don't know, I keep saying that. And you may thinking like, if you keep telling us this, maybe you're trying to convince yourself. That's not true. I'm trying to convince you. I'm not. But, yeah, I was really thinking, this is going to be a very, like, spiritual podcast. And then I will have, like, people ask me questions and stuff like that. And I think this podcast tanked in a way. It did not really reach the people that I thought it would reach. And so, although I saw some interest in it, like a tiny bit, I even reached out to some brands to sponsor it. They did not get back to me, and now I'm a little embarrassed about that to those brands. You know who you are. But yeah, so there's been that, and it has been, a cute little travel, and it has been a good thing for me too, I think. I always think, whatever you are going through and living through, it's either a gift, or it's always a gift. It's either, something gratifying in itself, like, for example, you receive a hug. That's, that's a good thing in itself. But for example, let's say you lose your, I don't know what, like you lose your umbrella, and you think, okay, I lost my umbrella and it's raining. How can I engage in myself so that it's not like that bad of an experience? And so instead of thinking, ugh, I lost my umbrella, I'm an idiot, instead of thinking that, if you think, well, I might have lost it, but maybe this umbrella is keeping someone else dry, and maybe I just needed a reminder from the universe that our planet, like, rain is also something to be grateful for. And even though you might come home all wet and like your hair is soggy, maybe your makeup is running, your shoes are wet, but like, think about the shower afterwards. That's a good shower, you know that. Like, I always try to think about things that way. And so this podcast was a stepping stone for me, absolutely. And I think everything in my life is a stepping stone. In the right direction, I don't know, maybe. It was in a direction. Was it the right one? We'll see that in the future. And I've got to like test out a few things on my channel, which I am very grateful for. I have decided to have the channel less for me and more for you, if that makes any sense. Like, I think I will have like less personal things on my channel and more like the things that you want as viewers, unless my viewers like change drastically before I publish this, which is, I don't know, anything is possible, but yes, stuff like that. And also it's been fun to connect a little with my viewers, and yeah, we will see. I feel like I am a little bit burning out, honestly, because I've been putting myself on this kind of insane, crazy thing. Like, I publish 4 videos plus a week, which is maybe a little too much. I'm sorry. But I've been really pushing myself out there. But maybe, maybe that's it for my channel. Maybe that's it for my channel. Maybe that's, the peak of my channel, and that's okay, Maybe I am going somewhere else. I don't know. The future can only tell that. And yeah, until then, I wish you all a beautiful week. And as I said, next week there will be like the extra episode. So if you're interested in that, just tune in. And it's been a pleasure to have a podcast for you. And I will see you in the near future. I am officially narrowing down on like the personal things on my YouTube channel, as I feel that it's not that interesting to people. And yeah, I hope you're all doing very well, and I hope you're all doing well, and that you are feeling loved and good and safe, and yeah, that you're just feeling good, and that you're feeling well in this period of time in your life. And yeah, we'll see each other in the future. I hope so. I am now going to say goodbye forever for now. Maybe only this episode. We'll see in the future. We'll see. I love you all so much, and thank you for watching my podcast. And I appreciate you all so much. Goodbye. Mwah! Bye-bye.